In this video, we're going to take a look at moving forward after loss, change, and adversity, and why it can be so darn difficult. I'm Lori Bonaparte. I'm a certified life coach, and I help people find clarity and direction to move forward and get the life they want. One big thing causing difficulty moving forward is, are you ready for this? Your brain. Yes, more specifically, your subconscious brain. And that's because loss, change, and adversity have one thing in common: change. And the brain doesn't like change. And that's because the subconscious brain, one of its main jobs is to keep us safe. And there's safety when things don't change. The other reason is because the brain requires a lot of energy to process things. In fact, the brain makes up 2% of our body weight, yet it requires 20% of our energy needs. So the brain likes situations where we could just set it and forget it. Well, along comes some loss, some change, or some adversity, and the brain now needs to work. It doesn't like that. So what happens is the subconscious mind just goes into the automatic programming modes that it was programmed for. Now, this can seem like a bad thing, but in actuality, it's a beautiful thing. Our brain has conserved energy for us. It's doing what it's supposed to do. However, when our life circumstances change drastically, we have to intentionally put in some effort to create a new plan to move forward, because guess what? Our subconscious mind is operating on the old plan. It's operating on the situation or the person who is no longer there. Maybe that situation is no longer there. Because of the big change, now we need to intentionally have a plan that reflects those changes. Also, there could be some emotional turbulence involved. It's quite possible that it's just that some time is needed to process what happened. And there's definitely a time and space for that. And it's important to give yourself that time and space to process the emotional turbulence. Sometimes just pushing through it without being with it can kind of keep us stuck and keep us from moving forward as we would want. Because if we don't sit with it and process it, what happens is we just stay stuck in it. It keeps coming up when we don't want it to. So ignoring it isn't always the best way. Another thing that can happen is we don't put an intentional plan in place for the whole of our lives, a holistic plan. Life doesn't happen in just a vacuum. So if we have a life circumstance that comes up that brings with it loss, change, or adversity in one particular area of life, it also will move into the other areas of life. And if you haven't seen my other videos, I talk about the great 8 areas of life. And that's what I'm referring to, is having a plan, a holistic plan that involves the great 8 areas of life, which are health and vitality, relationships, finances, spirituality, career, purposeful work, personal growth and development, fun, rest, and recreation, and our physical environment. And when something happens in our life, there's a little bit of a component that affects all of those other areas as well. So it's important to have a holistic, intentional plan moving forward because things look different. The landscape of life is different now. Another area to look for challenges and difficulties is unresolved communications from the past. And this can be as simple as a letter. Whether you send it or not is up to you. Sometimes it's just about writing it out and acknowledging to yourself and your subconscious mind, because like we discussed earlier, that's where a lot of these challenges lie. Your letter can be a letter of acknowledgement. Acknowledging, let's say you left a job. In that job, acknowledge one of your coworkers. What did you learn from them? Or your boss? What did that job teach you? It could be a letter of forgiveness. Maybe you need to ask someone for your forgiveness for some reason. It could be a letter of goodbye or a letter of gratitude. The gratitude and thankfulness that you have for this person or situation that was or is in your life. And like I said, you can write it and not send it. Sometimes the person you need to write the letter to is no longer alive. Write it anyway. And you can save it to remember it, or you can burn it. That's another option. Like I said, write it, send it, or don't send it, but write it. That's the important part, because that is going to get you in touch with any unresolved communications that you might have. I'm curious, what new insights came up for you while you were watching this video? Drop it in the comments down below and let me know. Also, if you'd like to explore this subject a little further, I have a free mini class. The link is down below, and it's called The Real Impact of Loss: 3 Secrets to Moving Forward and a Strategy to Knowing Exactly what you want in life right now. Go check it out. Until we meet again, see you next time.